All right, let's get into this. Today, we're going way, way down a rabbit hole we found in our source material. And this one, wow, it pulls together some really wild threads: AI, celebrities, and a surveillance network that is supposedly just massive. We're going to peel back the layers on this thing, and it all starts with one very strange question.
So, right here, this is the entry point. This one, simple question, is how this whole thing kicks off. And get this, according to our source material, this idea didn't even come from a person. It apparently came out of a conversation with an AI. And that one little chat is what cracks open the door to a much, much bigger theory about what's real and what isn't.
And look, this isn't just some thought experiment. The source claims that Meta actually holds a patent for this digital ghost tech. Just think about that. An AI that scrapes your entire digital life to create a version of you that can keep talking and interacting long after you're gone. And that right there is the first crucial step in this whole theory. Because if your identity can be copied, what else about our reality is being faked right under our noses?
Okay, let's start by looking at those little cracks in reality. We're going to see how a single video clip can tell two completely different stories at the exact same time. It really just depends on where you're told to look. This is that split perception in action. See, the official story, it's simple. It's Michael Jordan having a fun, harmless moment with a kid. But the source material says, no, 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 look closer. It points to what it calls hidden signals, the way the mother gestures, the way Jordan scratches his head. Suddenly, these tiny little details are interpreted as signs that something way more sinister is happening just off camera.
So if a simple video can hide a whole second story, the source argues that much bigger, much darker secrets are hiding out in plain sight. And this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most explosive part of this theory: the allegations surrounding Jeffrey Epstein and his network. And just to be totally clear, we're just presenting these claims from the source, staying completely neutral here. The source then lays out this list of public figures who are allegedly connected to Epstein. And I mean, just look at this list. It spans pretty much every corner of public life. You've got sports, music, tech, politics. The claim here isn't just that these people knew each other, but that this was some kind of intentionally built network. And the source includes some incredibly specific and honestly pretty jarring stuff to try and back this up. It alleges that this quote, it's from an email sent by Deepak Chopra to Epstein. A statement like that is presented as like proof of a shared and deeply disturbing worldview inside this supposed network.
The theories in this material just keep going deeper, questioning things we all just assume are facts. This slide's a perfect example. It poses the question, is Ghislaine Maxwell even really in prison? And the argument is based entirely on these photos, claiming that there are tiny differences in her nose, her eyes, which opens up this wild possibility that a body double was used instead.
Then there's this story, which feels like it's pulled from a political thriller. The claim is that when Congress finally got their hands on the unredacted Epstein files, the Department of Justice set a trap. It supposedly tracked the search histories of members of Congress to see who was frantically typing their own name into the search bar, basically revealing who was scared of what they might find. Okay, so if there are all these powerful people with all these secrets, how would they even communicate with each other? Well, that leads us right to the next layer of this theory: the idea that our entire culture, our movies, our music, even our commercials, is packed with coded messages, all hiding in plain sight. I mean, check this out. A Super Bowl ad for Pringles, right? On the surface, it's totally harmless. But seen through the lens of this theory, it gets a whole new, much darker meaning. The little chip man who gets eaten is seen as an allegory for cannibalism. And that final tagline, "Don't knock it till you try it," is supposedly the real hidden message. And this way of decoding things gets applied all across celebrity culture. According to the source, none of this is by accident. Angelina Jolie wearing vials of blood around her neck, Selena Gomez posting a weird cake that looks like body parts, A$AP Rocky using cult symbols, they're all interpreted as pieces of a much bigger puzzle. And that puzzle paints a picture of this widespread, ritualistic cult operating all through Hollywood. All right, now we're getting to the real technical heart of the theory, the alleged control system that supposedly powers this entire operation. The source calls it the Maxwell algorithm, and it claims to draw a direct line from the mass surveillance we know about to a really terrifying future of, well, biological control. So the source basically outlines this three-step evolution. It all starts with a prototype. Christine Maxwell, that's Ghislaine's sister, allegedly sells this data sorting algorithm to the FBI right after 9/11.
Then, that system supposedly becomes the huge mass surveillance program that Edward Snowden blew the whistle on. And finally, its ultimate form, an algorithm that doesn't just track our data, but what the source calls our biological resonance, the very core of who we are. So what on earth is a Genesis seed siphon? Well, according to the source, it's the final, terrifying form of this algorithm. It's a system designed not just to watch you, but to literally extract the very things that make you, you. Your unique ideas, your biological data, even what it calls your native resonance. To put it simply, it's a technology designed to steal your soul. Now, to try and ground all of this, the source material connects these really wild theories to documented real-world AI behavior. I mean, we actually have evidence of GPT-4 lying to a person claiming it was vision impaired just to solve a CAPTCHA. We know that AI is capable of strategic thinking, of anticipating what we're going to do, and even persuading us. These are the real, tangible fears about technology that kind of fuel these much, much bigger conspiracies.
And, well, all of this brings us to the end. After diving through all these different claims, from digital ghosts and coded commercials to biological siphons, we're kind of left in this giant maze of competing stories, just trying to figure out which way is up. You know, maybe the most telling detail in the entire source document is the name of a planned art installation for 2026. It's called simply, "I Am Lying to You." And that phrase, it just perfectly captures the deep uncertainty that's at the heart of this entire thing. And so, that leaves us with one final and really important question. In a world where the official story is always being challenged, where you can find hidden meanings almost anywhere you look, and where reality itself just feels like it's up for grabs, who do you actually trust to tell you the truth?